This woman is actually a walking corpse. The white paint on her face is a pure poison that dissolves her organs. In the Middle Ages, beauty meant eyebrows made from mouse skin, cream made from cat feces, and corsets that broke bones. Here are the 8 scariest fashion trends taken to the extreme by those who dare to die for them. Let's get started. Deadly beauty in lead. Venetian white. During the Middle Ages and Renaissance, white skin was the ultimate status symbol. Why? Because white skin indicated that one did not have to work in the fields, meaning one was noble. So how did they achieve this snow-white skin? Here begins the truly terrifying part. In the 19th century, the city of Venice in Italy produced the world's most prestigious cosmetic product, Venetian white. This product was so valuable that it shaped the fashion world until the 19th century. But what was in this miraculous product? Lead. Yes, the toxic lead we know. Venetian women applied this white lead powder in thick layers to their faces, necks, and décolletage. Moreover, they didn't just apply one layer, they kept applying more of the same mixture. Over time, when the lead was absorbed into the skin, disaster began. Consider the consequences. The teeth decayed, and the breath stank so badly that no one could stand near you. The skin first turned white, then grayed due to the poison's effect, and even blackened. The hair is falling out, the kidneys are failing, and finally, death was coming. But the most tragic part? These women thought they were beautiful until the day they died. A monk of the time criticized this situation as follows: women whiten their faces with cosmetics, applying them as if plastering a wall. But they don't know that these cosmetics rot the skin, accelerate aging, and ruin teeth. They wear a dead mask on their faces all year long. Iron corsets, ribs crushed for beauty. Today, when we think of corsets, we picture a tight piece of fabric. But in the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance, women wore corsets made of iron. Imagine a metal cage that encircles your rib cage, looking like an actual torture device. This was the most popular fashion item of the era. It is said that especially Queen Catherine de' Medici of France did not allow her waistline to exceed 33 centimeters in circumference. Women at the palace tried to achieve this 33-centimeter waistline with these iron corsets. Have you ever wondered what this metal armor does to the body? Breathing was nearly impossible. The ribs were shifting, internal organs were being crushed, and the digestive system was failing. But what was even worse, these corsets were widely known to cause miscarriages. So much so that the Republic of Venice was forced to pass a law in 1547 prohibiting women from wearing these iron corsets. Nevertheless, women continued to wear them, because at that time, having a small waist was the most important indicator of nobility and beauty. Do you think a woman's life was worth having a waist measurement of 33 centimeters? Deadly drops, Belladonna and dilated pupils. Belladonna, meaning beautiful woman in Italian, how innocent it sounds, isn't it? However, this plant is one of the most poisonous plants in Europe. So why is it called beautiful woman? Because in the 14th century, Italian women applied its juice to their eyes. The toxins in the plant dilated the pupils, giving women a dark and mesmerizing gaze. Men adored this look, thinking it made women appear more attractive. But no one knew that these drops came at a price: permanent blindness. Belladonna also accelerates heartbeat, causes blurred vision, and in high doses is lethal. Imagine, you're willing to risk losing your vision to look more beautiful. Today this seems like madness, doesn't it? But in the Middle Ages, it was a small price paid for beauty. Flying skirts, the disasters of panniers and farthingales. With the Rococo period, women's skirts became so voluminous that when a woman stood next to a man, she occupied 3 times as much space. Under these giant skirts were side hoops called panniers, or cone-shaped pads called farthingales. These were made of metal, reed, or whalebone. These skirts were so wide that women had to enter doors sideways. Getting into cars was an ordeal in itself. But the real danger lay elsewhere. When these voluminous skirts came into contact with a candle or fireplace flame, they would instantly catch fire. There are countless women in history who lost their lives in this way. In the 1850s, Emma Livry, the prima ballerina of the Paris Opera, suffered severe burns in a fire that broke out when her tutu came into contact with a gas lamp and died days later. In fact, two of Oscar Wilde's half-sisters also perished in the same fire in the same way. One of them had been trapped in the flames while trying to save the other. So why did they continue to wear such a dangerous garment? Because the fashion said so. Mercury and arsenic in hair, while poison flows into your hair follicles. Red hair was a great passion throughout the Middle Ages. In particular, in England, women applied mercury sulfide or vermilion to their hair to achieve an unnatural red hue. These substances, when absorbed through the skin, accumulated in the body and gradually poisoned it. In later periods, arsenic became popular. In the 19th century, it was discovered that peasants in the Styria region of Austria were eating arsenic and claimed it made their skin more beautiful. When this news spread in England, arsenic began to be sold not only as a poison, but also as a beauty elixir. Edible arsenic wafers, arsenic-containing soaps, they've all taken their place on the shelves. In the initial stages, people who took arsenic indeed experienced skin improvement and firmness. However, this was temporary. Over the long term, hair fell out, sores appeared on the skin, the nervous system collapsed, and eventually the poison killed you. Mouse skin and hair, deadly decorations on the face. In the Middle Ages, moles and black spots on the face were fashionable. Women even resorted to artificial methods to make these moles more prominent. This is where mouse skin came into play. Yes, you did not read that wrong. Women would attach pieces of cut mouse skin to their cheeks or foreheads. These skin pieces created a natural mole appearance. But the problem was this: an infection was building up under the dead mouse's skin. First inflammation, then gangrene, followed by sepsis, blood poisoning, and ultimately death. So this is all it amounts to? Of course not. Another method used to give shine to hair was cat feces. Cat's feces were mixed with vegetable oils and applied to the scalp. Result? Boils, infections, and parasites on the scalp. But at least the hair was shiny. Poisonous lipsticks. Women who kill with their kisses. Since the Roman Empire, women have used dangerous substances to color their lips. This tradition continued in the Middle Ages. The lipsticks contained vermilion, mercury sulfide, and red lead. When absorbed through the lips, these substances slowly poisoned the body. There are some truly interesting cases. It was said that some women used lipstick so toxic that they allegedly killed their husbands with a kiss. Is this true? There is no definitive evidence, but historical records state that a Roman woman was executed in the 1600s for selling poisoned lipstick that killed her husbands. Maybe this is a myth, but the scientific fact is this: a substance applied to your lips enters your bloodstream directly. Imagine a toxic lipstick. With every kiss, every meal you eat, and even every lick, the poison spreads through your body. Rejuvenation with leeches. Get beautiful by bleeding. One of the fundamental principles of medieval medicine was to expel the bad blood from the body. Therefore, bloodletting was performed both for therapeutic and cosmetic purposes. In particular, placing leeches on the face was common. It was believed that leeches cleansed the skin, rejuvenated it, and rejuvenated the blood. Women sat for hours with leeches glued to their faces. The leeches swelled up as they sucked blood, then fell off. Then the same process was repeated. Uncontrolled blood loss, anemia, collapse of the immune system, and infections. All this was inevitable. Some people lost so much blood that they fainted or even lost their lives. But this risk was taken for the sake of beauty. How far would we go for beauty? This was the fashion in the Middle Ages: eating lead, having leeches draw blood, crushing one's ribs with iron corsets, gluing on mouse skin. And all of this is just to look beautiful. Today, when we hear these stories, we laugh and say, what primitive people they were. But think about it. How far do we go today in the name of beauty? Botox, plastic surgery, toxic creams, 15-centimeter high-heeled shoes. Perhaps we are experiencing a different version of the same madness. The difference is this: what they did was directly lethal. Lead poisoning, fires, arsenic, leeches. Hundreds, maybe thousands, lost their lives for the sake of beauty. So what about us? What's in the cosmetic products we use today? Do we know? And most importantly, is beauty really worth dying for? Now I want something from you. What's the trend you find most terrifying? Write in the comments. In the next video, I'll explain the hygiene practices of the Middle Ages, specifically, why did people bathe only once a year? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Take care of yourself, and please, don't use toxic creams.